company. Yeah. And Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web, 8990. I ended up putting the web online. Yeah. And so that was the irony, is that I actually didn't ever get a job anyhow. I started a company from scratch. So that was the fear, was making a living. Yeah. And that has been overcome.
It certainly has been overcome in a unique way, and a retrospective of the work that you have done since that split from the business world is what we will see at the apartment gallery, which is on Fort Street. A retrospective of your work is running February 22nd through to April 1st. We'll find out more about what happened after that split when we return. This is Eye on the Arts on CFAX 1070. I'm Adam Sawatsky from CTV News. Our guest is Carollyne Yardley. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on the Arts on CFAX 1070. I'm Adam Sawatsky from CTV News. We're having a conversation with Carollyne Yardley. And if you're just joining us, she is the Victoria painter most famous, most infamous for painting squirrels. And for all the people that are still with us, you did save that squirrel when you were younger.
We did save that squirrel. This was the one that was older, the one that inspired
the one that you were laughing at.
We did save that squirrel.
What was the first painting?
The first painting was I was copying when I was teaching myself to paint. It was a copy of a Raphael painting. And my husband said, there was a big space on her lap, and my husband said, why don't you put a squirrel in there? As a joke. And I thought, why not? And so I did. And that was the beginning of the squirrels appearing in paintings, and then the squirrel head then became the centerpiece in the next series.
Let's backtrack before that, because we kind of finished our conversation before the break of here you are, this successful entrepreneur, and you decide to make a change and pursue the thing that had been a passion your whole life.
Yes.
And that was art.
Yes.
You then taught yourself how to paint?
Yes. I did take some courses.
Are you type A personality?
I probably would be put in that category. Yeah. I did take some courses, though. I took some evening courses at the Victoria College of Art to remind myself, get my mind moving. Yeah. And I also went down to Santa Fe and I took a course with a realist master named Tony Ryder.
Because again, for people that haven't seen your work and are listening to this conversation, your work does look like the work of the old masters as far as the detail, as far as the use of light. This is realistic stuff.
Thank you.
Which makes it work so well, right? I mean, you think of the surrealism of Salvador Dali, the guy knew his technique too.
Absolutely. And it's ever-changing. It's definitely a process, and I'm finding that I can go from fur to grass, which is great. I hadn't done grass until I'd done this latest painting, the topiary squirrel.
And for everybody who even knows a little bit about painting, fur, hair, grass, hard.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, and that's because of the detail, right?
You have to have patience.
Yeah.
Especially if you're wanting to paint detailed, or if you're trying to paint in a realistic fashion. That's not necessarily everybody's goal. But if you are, there's no real quick way there. You've got to have patience.
Why was this your goal? I mean, this what you're exploring, the ideas and even the images that you're creating could work with a different style. Why did you decide to go with realism?
I was always attracted to that when I was looking at art, and that's where I'm at right now. So the pop surrealists, that's really the art genre that I follow and the category that I'd like to be included into. It was an art movement that started out of the 1970s, and it was, you could say it's technical craftsmanship with a wry sense of humor and a pop sensibility. Yeah. And so all of those artists that are considered in that category I really adore, and they focus on technical craftsmanship. And so for right now, that is where my pursuit was, to be able to be included into that category. And while I do appreciate abstract and free thought, free form, and expressionism, I appreciate all art forms. This is the one that I wanted to explore right now.
It's interesting, you were talking about one of the new narrative pieces of this this creature with the bow and arrow.
Oh, yes, the Cupid and Psyche.
Right. About being this driven creature that has set a goal and achieving their goals.
Yes.
What is the name of your company?
My current company is called Carollyne Yardley Omnimedia.
Omnimedia. I think of Martha Stewart, Omnimedia.
It's funny, after she went to jail, I chose that name.
Did you? Yeah. Is this the black humor coming back again?
Yes, it
is. So we have a little bit of the black humor. At the same time, by saying Omnimedia, you're setting a big goal for yourself.
Well, it's all forms of media. I came from the technology world, where we were making videos, we were doing audio, we were building websites, we were building databases, we were taking schemas, and we were doing a lot of multimedia.
Right.
We were building things in all different forms of media, and that's how I see the world. And I don't think art is just, me sitting there painting on canvas. It's cooking, it's creating, it's baking, it's everything you do, whether you make, hairstyles, or it's everything, fashion, building beautiful gardens. That's art. And so I wanted it to encompass all media throughout my whole career, from the beginning to the end, right? Which is, the end of life, really, for an artist. And so I can't foreshadow what I'm going to be building. Maybe I'll be doing sculptures one day. And so I wanted to make sure that I remembered that it was all media forms.
What brings you the pleasure? Why do you do this? You obviously are a person who gets great satisfaction out of setting goals and achieving goals. At the same time, you get satisfaction out of the minutia of painting grass, which is incredibly detailed. So the sky's the limit as far as your big goals are concerned, yet at the same time you care about the details of things.
I love both the endless stream of creativity and the endless stream of information that can be given to you through just all of your senses of life. And so I love creativity. I have an endless bowl. Somebody asked me, what happens if you run out of an idea? And I thought, well, I don't think it's possible. I was in a creative field, in Star Global, a paid field where I had to be creative for every new assignment, and it never ever ended, and it never ever can. And that's my gift. Is a never-ending creativity. Where I need to be the Olympic training, where I'm training for the Olympics, is this craftsmanship and learning different techniques and different forms. And that's where the focus for me comes in, where you have to practice, just like working out or using your mind. That is what needs to be trained for me, whereas the creativity is endless.
It's just there.
It's just there.
You don't have to worry about that.
I love the fact that I don't need to worry about that.
What do you do when you're not painting, when you're not being creative? I suppose your answer is you're creative in everything that you do, but... I read
quite a bit. I watch a lot of movies, but I have always been a voracious reader, even though I pronounce words terribly incorrectly.
You just got back from vacation. What were you reading on the beach?
Oh, I read 2 novels by Deborah Harkness. They are about witches, demons, and vampires, and time travel. I started in on The Tree of Life by Israel Regardie. I read a fun book called Squirrel. It was about a squirrel. It was about a stuffed squirrel, and it was a mystery, and I don't remember the name right now, speaking of jet lag.
You literally just got back last night, so thank you for coming in. After the rest and relaxation, jumping into the deep end of business things, I do appreciate that. If the stories that you tell are surreal stories, are you attracted to the same type of thing when you're not focusing on your own creativity, or do you look for something totally different?
I do read a lot. I read a lot of esoteric material, so I do like to be able to expand my mind, and I like to be able to think about the things that I've read afterward. And then I like to read things that are completely brainless, like, the Star, Globe, and Inquirer magazine.
What do you think about as you're reading about the celebrities?
I think about how they've become celebrities, and I think about the challenges and the work ethic that goes into, and I think about the kind of pressures that some of them face, and I think about a lot of the damage that can happen in this new era of celebrity. I was watching a movie about Jean-Michel Basquiat. And that was
great New York painter that brought graffiti into his work and brought that kind of to the level of
expressionism and friends with Andy Warhol, and that was sort of the beginning era of this age of celebrity becoming famous for being famous after your work is recognized, and then you see now the people like Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan's of the world and things like that. And you think of how some of those people have worked really, really hard to get that celebrity. And then what happens once you're airborne? And so, I think about stuff.
Do you think about that as a cautionary tale for you? If your company ends with Omni Media and the sky is the limit as far as your creativity is concerned, and you have the unique ability to bring that entrepreneurial business spirit into your art, you must be thinking, I hope that everyone knows who Carollyne Yardley is at some point.
And I think that to not be worried about where